The Animal Rebellion protest group says the white paint symbolises milk and was intended to represent the destruction of the dairy industry. Also represents, of course, petulant vandalism and the destruction of a historic building. It's the fourth day of action from the group. They've also cleared milk from the shelves of supermarkets in 4 different cities. They say they're aiming to force Liz Truss to the negotiating table, but are they in fact just annoying the hell out of all of us? Well, joining me now is a spokesman for Animal Rebellion, Orla Coughlin, who was at the protest at Big Ben earlier today. Good evening to you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Why would chucking paint all over Big Ben persuade someone like me to give up meat?
Yeah, so as you and your viewers probably know, we're in a climate and ecological emergency at the moment. And so what we're doing is we're asking the government to support farmers and fishing communities in a transition to a plant-based food system, because we know that animal agriculture is a leading cause of the climate crisis. And so if we transition to a plant-based food system, we can free up vast amount of land in the UK, we can rewild and we can draw carbon down.
Okay, look, that's all fine. That wasn't my question. My question is, why does chucking paint over Big Ben, why does desecrating Trafalgar Square with red dye, chucking milk around Harrods, destroying supermarket shelves and so on, how does that persuade me, who already likes eating meat? Why are you going to persuade me by being a vandal? Don't get it.
Yeah, I think we're in an incredibly difficult position at the moment, because we've been...
Why are you making it any easier?
Because we've been trying to talk about these things now for a very long time. And so we're at a point where we need to escalate protest so we can gain more media attention on the subject.
I understand the notion of escalating a protest to get more attention, but they need to recognise this isn't working. The British public are they have already turned against you. Nobody wants to listen to a word you're saying. You are deeply irritating.
I just find this whole thing absolutely bizarre. If they think that they're going to be able to get the world to stop eating meat, then they're absolutely out of their minds.
Do you know what else baffles me is that in a lot of third world parts of the world, a lot of people rely on like an animal to provide food for their family. Like they have goats and cows, and this one cow or this one goat will provide sustenance for an entire family. So I don't understand the notion here. It doesn't really make sense to me. It can't. No. I don't believe in what I don't believe what they're saying. I don't really have any scientific evidence to present you to say why I don't believe it, outside the fact, even back like in Africa, in part of the world that some of my family are from, they rely on a single animal to provide food for everyone. It's
like we're living in a time where everyone wants everything to be accepted, included, and everyone should respect the decisions that other people make. So they should not be imposing their decisions and life choices on everyone else and get annoyed and vandalized just because everyone else doesn't want to or doesn't agree with it, because that's not fair. We're trying as a society to be inclusive of everything that people are coming up with these days, but yet the original ways seem to be no longer accepted, or the original ways are just in the wrong. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. And I'm not saying that they're wrong either. Maybe they're right. What I am saying is their methodology is not working. Nobody wants to listen to a word you have to say. All you're doing is pissing people off. And on top of that, you're blocking roads where ambulances need to get through, where people need to get to work. Some people have really shitty bosses who will fire them for not being at work on time, or at the very least make their life a living hell. There was a woman that was pregnant in a car sometime back when they were blocking the roads before. She was literally like going through labor or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and they were blocking the roads. The other thing that I don't understand is that when you stop cars on the road that are on, the CO2 emissions go up. Isn't that going against the whole movement? Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure when cars are stationary and there's just a traffic jam and they're all on, CO2 emissions are going up. So none of this makes sense. But the point is that even if you guys are right, even if there is a serious crisis that needs to be addressed, the way you're doing it is not working. You're throwing shit onto Trafalgar Square. You're pouring milk out all over the place. You should just be put in prison for it. They need to make an example out of some of you. Nobody is on your side because of the way you're doing it.
Because if I went down to Trafalgar Square with a spray can and started spray painting the pavement or the walls, I'm going to get done for graffiti.
Yeah, they should be tried like criminals. And like I said, maybe you are right, but you have to be willing to accept the way you are going about it is wrong. No one wants to listen to you because of it.
But she is saying that they've been trying for so long and they're not being heard. That's why they're now doing it.
I understand not being heard for so long, but if they're there's 100 ways to do things. This route that you've taken isn't one of them. Try something else. People don't want to hear it. I'd be willing to listen to a climate crisis argument, but I'm not willing to listen to it if you're throwing milk in my local supermarket. And by the way, if you come to my local supermarket and start throwing milk on the floor, you're going to get fucked up. Be careful where you do that shit.
And I don't know anyone you persuade. I haven't heard anyone go, you know what, I was a meat eater and I saw Big Ben being desecrated, this great monument of this country, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'm going to go and give up meat and start eating gruel. I haven't heard a single human being say that. Why would they?
I think the purpose of protest is not necessarily to win over people. It's to bring these,
to annoy us?
To bring these important conversations to the table.
Yeah, but we know the conversation. You're a vegan, right? I'm a meat eater. Why can't we just both live happily in each other's orbit? Why can't you let me just get on with eating meat and you eat your gruel and we'll all go home happy?
Because we know animal farming and fishing are a leading cause of the climate crisis.
And we know having a strictly vegan diet is bad for you as well.
Well, that's not true.
A lot of science says it's bad for you.
That's not true.
It is true.
Oh,
what do you eat?
I eat...
do you eat almonds? Do you drink almond milk? Eat almonds?
The thing is, you can pick up any study to affirm what you're saying. I don't know if a strictly vegan diet is good or bad for you. And I don't really know if a strictly meat-eating diet is good or bad for you. I've heard the carnivore diet is great for you. I've seen it do great things for people. I also know people that are vegans that are bodybuilders. I think everyone's different. I don't know if there's any clear science on it. You can go on Google and you can find a study for anything and you can affirm what you're saying. If I want to eat meat and you want to eat plants, by all means, go into your garden, mush your face across the grass and eat all the plants you want to eat.
But this is the exact point that I'm trying to make, is just why can't everyone just do what they want to do and just get on with it? You don't have to always impose your views and ideologies on everyone else. I know that she's saying there's reasoning behind it, but let's just look at reality here. Reality is there's 7 billion people in the world. You're not going to get every single person in the world to stop eating meat. And to be honest with you, I think if that did happen, a lot of people probably would die.
Oh yeah, 100%, especially in third world places, that people would die if you got them to stop eating meat. There's absolutely no way. I tried the vegan diet for a month.
I'd be anorexic.
Well, I felt like I was dying inside. It was honestly one of the worst things I've ever been through. And I'm not saying that's true for everyone. I know people that are vegans that are big and strong. It just didn't work for me. There's different diets for different people. Doctors literally tell us this. That's one of the ways that we combat some people that have like mild problems with their stomachs, with like IBS or Crohn's. They have specific diets. I'm willing to bet that that's true for even people that are not sick. I can't do the vegan diet. It was one of the most miserable things, and their food is absolutely horrific. For me anyway, there's very few things that I've eaten that are vegan that are nice. That's usually baked goods, like brownies.
Well, the McDonald's vegan burger is nice though, I do recommend.
Well, that video didn't get 300 likes, so I'm not eating it.
I think you're digressing from the big issue.
I'm just curious what you eat. Would you eat almonds?
I'm here to talk about the climate crisis.
Answer my question. Do you eat almonds or drink almond milk?
30 million people in Pakistan.
Do you drink almond milk?
Have been affected by severe floods.
Do you drink almond milk?
I drink plant-based milk.
You do. And do you eat avocados?
I eat a plant-based diet.
Do you eat avocados?
We're asking the government.
Do you eat avocados? Yes?
A leading study from...
Do you... It's an interview. You don't just answer different questions. Do you eat avocados?
I eat a plant-based diet, which
Do you eat avocados?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Great. Do you know how avocados and almonds get made?
Absolutely.
You do.
Piers is one of the most petty people on the planet.
He's like a spoiled child. When he doesn't get what he wants, he will literally just throw his dummy out the pram.
He didn't have to do it like that. Like I'm on Piers' side for the overall argument. You can't talk to people like that. I mean, maybe he's going to make a point that makes sense, but so far it just seems like he's being a bit...
He was not going to stop until she answered his question.
Do you know how avocados and almonds get made?
Absolutely.
You do?
Yes.
So you realise that in California, every year, for 6 weeks, they fly in billions of bees to create your almonds and avocados. And in that process, several billion bees get murdered. This is a bee. Right? That's a bee. That, last time I checked, is a living animal. Billions get slaughtered so that you, sitting here, pontificating in between smashing up our buildings, so that you can have your almonds and your avocado. And I say to you, why don't you care about the little guys?
Can I just say...
The music's perfect.
Piers was waiting for that moment. The whole interview, he was sitting there and he was just waiting to ask that question, to say this stuff and play this imagery of bees.
Do you know what though? I mean, he kind of has a point.
Yeah, of
Bees
course.
are living organisms as well.
Yeah, but plants are actually living things as well. So I'm just.
But Piers does have a point that if
Yeah,
bees
100%.
if bees are being killed for the sake of vegans, then how are you any better than us? How are you any better than us? I mean, you saying bees ain't worth it? Ain't we supposed to protect bees or something? Isn't that like a whole thing? And it's vegans out here killing them. I don't know if Piers is telling the truth. Maybe vegans are not the reason that they are. But if they are, then bees ain't any less than anything else that you're talking about.
That's it.
Can I say that
It's total hypocrisy, isn't it? You don't care about bees being murdered.
Will you let me speak, Piers?
Huh?
Will you let me speak?
Why are you laughing? It's not funny.
I'd like to respond.
Bees getting slaughtered and you giggling away like it doesn't matter whilst destroying buildings because you care so much about animals. You don't care about the little guys, do you?
I'm laughing because I'd like to answer your question, and I've been brought on the show to answer your question, so I'd really appreciate being
You're never going to persuade me because I think you're a hypocrite, like a lot of vegans I've met. You can all be as hangry as you like and not have meat. I don't believe in the science of a strictly vegan diet. If vegan diets worked, a lot of animals wouldn't eat other animals.
Do you believe in the climate crisis?
Yes.
Well, the animal agriculture, farming and fishing is a leading cause of the climate crisis.
You know what's also a leading cause of the climate crisis? Planes which carry vast amounts of your avocados and your almonds from California and fly them thousands of miles to your table here in your vegan cafes.
Actually,
and then they also go in trucks. And that is an environmental hazard too. So you're not only are you killing billions of bees, you're destroying the planet. And yet you have the brass neck to sit here in between munching your almonds and your avocados and start preaching to me about how virtuous you are about not killing animals and saving the planet. I'm like, hang on, you're destroying the planet and you're killing billions of bees. I don't get it.
Can I respond?
And you're wrecking Big Ben.
Can I respond?
And Trafalgar Square. And you're breaking up Harrods.
I hear that you're very frustrated.
No, I just find it such absurd, hypocritical nonsense. I honestly do.
So it's not just Andrew Tate that he keeps talking over.
Yeah, it's just people he doesn't like. Like, look, I'm on Piers' side for the argument, but come on, dude, like you're being a petty child.
He just keeps going and keeps going. Look, what I feel like Piers does is forces his opinion down other people's throats, though. And if you're not going to agree, he doesn't want to hear it, and he's going to keep on feeding you until you eventually just give up. Yeah, it is bullyish behaviour. Just saying.
I mean, Piers might have made a good point. I don't really know what the effects. I don't know what the effects of all of these things are on the climate. And he made a good point. It looked like it kind of rattled her, but he's gone so far in like the bully tactic now that the point's kind of lost. So it's now it's just this is just a sideshow now.
It's almost as if Piers has this fear, not saying this is true, but has this fear that people are going to come back with something really good, and he doesn't want to make himself look like a fool. So he just keeps going to the point where they don't get to answer, or they will forget the original point, and then they can't make him look stupid. Is his show. But
I think he also does like mocking people.
Yeah.
And again,
it's good entertainment though.
It is funny, but for Piers' point, I'm on his side. I just don't agree with the way he's gone about it. I mean, it is pretty funny.
I would really like to respond to that.
Go on then.
So a leading study from Oxford, which is the most comprehensive study on food and the climate that has ever been done before, has said that animal products, that's farming, animals and fishing, is the leading cause.
Is a bee an animal?
I'm not finished, sorry. It surpasses...
Actually, Ola, is a bee an animal?
It surpasses...
Is a bee an animal?
Piers, can I...
Is a bee an animal?
It surpasses all...
Ola, is a
all
bee...
plant-based options.
Is one of these things an animal?
Of course a bee is an animal.
If a bee is an animal, why are you slaughtering them?
Why are you not talking about the most important issue that is facing our planet today?
She sounds like she's about to start crying.
I would get up and walk out that interview. I'd be like, Piers, I'm not doing this. If you're not going to let me speak, there's no point me being here. Yeah, you like the sound of your own voice too much. I'm sorry.
This was for clicks, man. Come on. Like, there's an argument to be made here, and you might even have points that would rattle her and make it so that she can't really argue back. But, dude, come on, man. Like, listen, the person's captioned this, dying with laughter. It is funny because he's acting like a child. But if we're going to be objective and honest here, you're coming across like a goofball. It's hard to take you seriously as a legitimate interviewer, whether we agree with the other people or not. It's hard to take you seriously when you behave like this. The whole argument's been thrown out the window, and this is more of like just a sideshow now. We're just bullying this woman. Even if she's chatting shit, which I think she probably is, it doesn't really matter. You're just bullying her now. Now she sounds like she's going to cry. Now I feel bad for her.
When you're in school and then one kid starts making jokes jokes and everyone laughs, and then he keeps going and he thinks it's funny, but then it's not funny anymore. But you know what I would do? I would get up and I would walk all the way to the front of the camera, like right there.
Yeah.
And just start saying my point.
Well, so you'd be like Busta Rhymes right in the camera.
Right in the camera and just say what I've got to say, mic drop and walk out. I'm not putting up with that, I'm sorry.
Rank hypocrisy.
It is
isn't
not
it?
hypocrisy.
I meet so many vegans
study from
who devour avocados and almonds and don't seem to realise it involves the slaughter of billions of bees.
Both almonds and avocados are less damaging to the planet.
Oh, they're less damaging. And what about how they get flown here from California? What about how they get trucked across Europe?
That study in Oxford, that is exactly what it is
the
about.
planet.
No,
anyway, look, I'm starving and you're not going to persuade me. And my response to you destroying all these things is to have a Big Mac. Because you know what? It's a free country, it's a democracy, and I'm allowed to eat meat, and I'm certainly allowed to eat meat when someone who kills bees to feed their avocado habit minds.
What we're asking is for the government to support...
Oh.
Nah,
I didn't expect it to end like that.
Piers, you are one petty child. I can't believe you just did that.
Wow.
What was the point of having her on? I don't even know what she was on about because we didn't get to hear. Even if I disagree with someone, I will let them talk. I understand that clip was funny, but it went from being funny to just being a bit sad.
Yeah.
You bullied that girl. She didn't deserve that, even if she has bogus points to make. Like, Piers Morgan is not a good interviewer. Unless he likes you, he'll let you talk then. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't let you make your point. He doesn't allow you to push back, to scrutinize. There's no back and forth. It's literally a bullying contest. I don't know how you would deal with something like that because Piers is quite loud as well. I don't think I could talk over him. My voice isn't that loud. He would drown me out.
Sometimes to beat people like that, you can't rise to their level. You just got to be more calm, cool and collected, and that will bother them more. But they're not getting anything out of you.
Yeah, but she came on there to make the argument for her cause. Now, I don't agree with her cause. I don't like the things that they're doing in the streets. I don't like the things they're doing in supermarkets. I find most of them detestable in the way they behave. But I find myself disliking Piers more and more every day. This should not be the guy that is interviewing the climate protesters because by proxy, he's making them look good. He looked absolutely ridiculous in
He's
that.
brutal.
No, he's just childish.
Yeah.
He's childish. He needs to let people talk. Let people say what they want to say.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was funny. I mean, I can't believe he brought out a Big Mac in front of her. Like, the level of disrespect.
Yeah.
And I get it. He's matching the disrespect of the people in the streets that are doing the shitty things to people trying to get to work and buy milk. But
it just, as a human as well, it's just courteous to be respectful. Like, not saying that I will stop eating meat because of vegans or vegetarians, but whenever I've gone out with any of my friends who are vegetarian, I'll always ask them, does it make you feel uncomfortable to see someone eating meat? And all of them be like, no, it's fine, so I'll still eat the meat. But if it was to make them uncomfortable, I would
you not eat? No, fuck
don't know.
that. I'd be like, go home.
I don't know, but it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't even like to talk about it. Like, I always say to people, why are you vegetarian? Why are you vegan? Just to hear what they say, to hear if there's a specific reason behind it.
I know, we can have a conversation about it, but if we're friends and you're a vegan and we're going out to eat, I'm not asking you if you're uncomfortable because you already know that I'm not a vegan.
Well,
so if you're uncomfortable, stay at home.
Yeah.
Let mom cook you food.
Well, I've never been in a position where anyone's actually said to me, I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
so I don't know what I would
jerk.
do, but I have always been courteous of it.
Nah, fuck
Someone
that.
else
If you're a
person.
vegan and we're friends, you're going to see me chow down on all the meat. Pause, no homo.
I'm a vegetarian now.
You're a vegetarian?
I'm a vegan, actually.
It sucks for you. It's more meat for meat. Pause, no homo. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that.